They had been together since 1945, but they decided to tie the knot in 1960. To strengthen their relationship, he said that he needed to protect her now that she was his. Their vows, they named the sofa. He showed her how powerful he was by leaving guns in her house, just in case someone came knocking at their door to hurt her. These guns were called weapons of mass destruction. The domestic violence happened as soon as he set his base in her house. He raped her constantly. She said nothing because she was afraid to. He then murdered other family members. The aunties and the uncles. The small innocent children were raped and mutilated, and still, she said nothing. She denied it. She tried to hide the deaths and the rapes, but the stench of rotting human flesh was starting to cause a stir amongst the village people. So a meeting was held in the town. He stood before them all and said that he was sorry that it happened, but it was not his fault. It was the clothes that the women were wearing that made him do it. And on other occasions he said he had been drunk when he murdered them, but he promised that it would never happen again. The village people were crying out in pain. They begged him to stop. They became outraged, and so he revised his vows to include a new policy. He called it zero tolerance. She did nothing because she was too scared to, and together they called it politics. She agreed to keep silent and not tell another soul. Each time he raped another one of her sisters, they tried to cover it up. She promised to keep it a secret, and they called it the secret agreement. The rapes and murders continued, and in most domestic violence relationships, he said that he was sorry and that it would never happen again. And she never said anything because she knew that he would protect her if someone came knocking on the door to kill the entire town. So for 70 years she continued to watch as he killed her family. For 70 years she continued to watch him rape the village women, and she said nothing. She feared the knock, knock on the door. She needed to protect him, so instead of speaking out and saying, "Stop raping my family and killing them in cold blood," she pretended that they had a happy relationship. The souls of the murdered village people were at unrest. The men of the village were becoming more and more suspicious, and so they went to their house and demanded to know the truth. One of the men saw the secret agreement that they had written and cried out, "This is injustice!" But they denied its existence, even though they were holding it in their hands. The village people began to congregate outside of the house, demanding that they send this man away from the town and to leave the women and the village people in peace. She told them to go home and to leave them alone. She told them that he was there to protect them if someone came knocking on the door to kill them all. And then they all heard it. It was a knock at the door, the knock that she had feared. Knock, knock, knock. The house was silent. She was afraid to open the door. "You go," she said to her husband. He brandished his gun and slowly opened the door. There was a little girl standing there. "Remember me?" she said, with tears running down her cheeks. "Go away," he shouted at her. "But I can't," she answered. "You killed me. My name is Yumiko. Don't you remember me? You raped me, then mutilated me and threw me in the trash." He tried to close the door, but then he realized that there were thousands of women standing there. They were all repeating Yumiko's words. "Remember me?" "You don't know my name," they all shouted in unison. "You don't know our pain," they all cried out. "You say you are here to protect us, but instead you raped us. Instead you killed us. It is you that we need to be afraid of." "Lies, all lies," he screamed out. "I'm here to protect you, you fools." It was then that his wife fell to her knees, and with sadness in her eyes she cried, "We can't keep this a secret anymore. There are too many victims standing outside our house. They are not afraid anymore. They have broken the silence. They know about our secret agreement and lies, and there are even victims from all around the world congregating outside our house. Perhaps we can make another revision to our relationship, he said. We can stop them from breaking up our marriage by telling them that we will arrest them if they talk about our secret agreements. We will put them in prison so they can't tell the world about our lies that we have been trying so hard to keep secret for all these years. Or we could make it look like they committed suicide. We have to do something. We have been able to get away with it for 70 years. Surely we can stop them. I promise you I will protect you. She wanted him to protect her so. She said she would try to speak to the woman and see if she could persuade them to go away. Then it was she that opened the door of the house. She heard the chanting of their voices. We were once too scared to stand up to you. We were once afraid to break our silence. But now we all stand together. We stand together as one voice. You can't stop us now. Their voices were so loud that they echoed from the small village to each corner of the world. We are one voice together. You can't stop us now. It is your fault because you silenced us. It is you that betrayed us. You betrayed us for your own safety. How could you have let your husband kill your own flesh and blood? Do you not have a guilty conscience? How can you sleep at night when innocent lives are being destroyed before your very own eyes? You are a disgrace to us all. You should be ashamed to call yourself a human being. For 70 years you pretended to wear a kimono, but that was only when you went out in public to speak to us. Inside the confinements of your home, you wore a dark cloak of lies. How can you sleep at night? Your husband made an oath to protect us, and you covered up his lies each and every time. We don't believe you anymore. Who came knocking at your door to kill us? Who came knocking at your door to rape us? Open your eyes. Wake up. It was your own husband that committed the crimes. Her white kimono that she was wearing was now splattered with blood. Splattered with blood, a white kimono with a red circle of blood on her back. Her kimono was the flag of Japan. The women started singing the national anthem of Japan, with only this phrase, "Until the pebbles grow into boulders." We are the pebbles that became the rock. We are the rock of truth. She turned to her husband in fear. Saying sorry this time is not going to be enough, and they will not leave until you feed them with justice that you have never given them. The truth is now at our front door. Knock, knock.